In the blue corner, weighing in at 12,000 square kilometers, it's the local legend, East Anglia! And in the red corner, coming all the way from across the pond, it's the heavyweight champion, 1940s America!
The big thing during the war was a relationship, I think, between the Americans and local people, which was absolutely superb.
They didn't come by road, they swarmed across the fields, and there wasn't room in the little public house for them, so they sat on the verge outside and drank. I think they drank it dry by about Wednesday.
In the theatre, they had film shows, you know, they had regular film shows.
Some of the films I'm quite sure I shouldn't have been seeing, quite adult films, but that was that, you know, you got educated during the war in all various ways.
They invited the people from outside and the local villagers as well along to some of the film shows, and then they had anniversaries, like when they'd done so many missions. They had parties in that theatre, and people were invited along out of the village to come along, you know, for these anniversaries of so many missions, when they'd done so many missions.
At the end of the war, the Americans knew that the war was over, or nearly over, and one of them asked me if I'd like to go to London, and I said, well, I'll ask my father, and so one of them cycled back with me to ask my father, and Father brought me down on a Saturday morning, and we'd had snow, and so then we got the lorry to Dis, went on the train, but the snow, it got less as we went further on, and went to London. The American who I was with, Lieutenant Cook, he found a place where we stayed the night, but before that we went to the pictures. Rita Hayworth tonight and every night. And next morning got up and had breakfast, and he took me on a taxi ride round London to see the bomb damage and the other sites. And then we caught the train back to Dis on the Sunday night and came home.
When we went to the Christmas party, we'd never didn't know what turkey was like and things like that, and oranges and bananas, we didn't know nothing about things like that.
In fact, nobody even knew what a banana looked like. And after the war, when children were presented with the bananas, they wanted to eat them with the skins on, because they just didn't know what they were meant to be eating.
But we rather liked the taste of them once we got the idea. And when we had this turkey, thinking of having meat and putting jam on it, we couldn't, the cranberry sauce, we couldn't really hack that. I said, I don't mind the turkey, but don't put any jam on it, please. Now I need the jam on it every time I eat turkey. So the Americans came one Christmas morning with these big bags, washing bags, right chock-a-block full. There was 3 of them came, and 3 big bags. And my mum was doing the Christmas dinner, and she'd got a bit of a headache, and one thing and another, and she said to the Americans, I don't want to see any washing. She said, I'm absolutely shattered. And they said, no, that's all right, you can take your time, that's no hurry at all. So they cleared off. Mum thought, well, during the day, she thought, well, I better put these things to soak, get ready for wash, because that's all hand washing that time of day. And Mum come in, crying her eyes out. That wasn't washing at all. That was all goodies for the house and Christmas presents. And Mum cried for hours, seemed like it, because she'd never been treated like that before. So they were so kind. And like I say, that all the little goodies for us, well, that made life rather nice. Until they went back when we was on starvation, nearly.
I think the major memory of how the village, going from 200 people to up to 4,000 people, you know, in the same area, was quite something. I remember prior to them leaving, all the tools and equipment, bicycles, they were digging large holes everywhere and burying all the stuff, you know, deep with a digger. And I remember as a boy thinking how criminal, when we hadn't got tools and equipment in, you know, with my father and whatever, and here they were burying it. But then the next day or two was the big thing to remember, silence. Just like a grave. You know, they're all gone. And a big loss.